we are live. Is everybody ready? All right.
Yes.
All right. Stream. Everybody's on streamers ready to rock and roll. All right.
Oh,
Cool.
I'm ready.
All right. Let me put the comments back to where whenever we get comments, they'll go up on the screen. And all right. Hey, son. Yeah, Pokemon. Whenever somebody throws a Pokeball at them, I do think that hurts the Pokemon.
Yeah, nothing like a concussion to make a wild animal obey you.
Yeah, that's so messed up. Well, today we've got a lot of humor, thankfully, but we also have some serious stuff that we'll be doing. I'd like to start out with one serious thing, and that's a moment of silence for the people that was killed in the munitions plant that we ended up discovering on Wavero's live stream. I'm trying to find the pictures so I could put them up, but I can't find them, and I'm so sorry, everybody. But there was a explosion at a munitions plant in Tennessee, and as we were discussing it, all the pictures of it looks so much as if somebody did something bad. I'm not saying anything because we're still waiting for more information, but over 14 people lost their lives, and it's bad, and that's the only way to put it. I'd like, if we can do a moment of silence, I will. This is the names of the people who have been identified by their families: Rachel Woodall, Billy Baker, Raina Gillafin, Militia Don Stanford, Trent Stover, Mindy Clifton, Jeremy Moore, Stephen Wright. He had just celebrated 20 years of marriage the day before the explosion. Adam Boatman, James Adams, and Chris Clark. And it was the Accurate Energetic Systems facility there in Tennessee. So everybody, please pray for the families, because they definitely need it. It is a the names each has from their family members a note that goes with it. So please remember them in your prayers. And it's a sad thing when anyone dies like this, and especially when I showed the photograph, that the before and after the explosion photographs that it was going out. It was it was bad, because it looked like it took a chunk of the land with it, So everybody, please send your thoughts and prayers to the families, and let's get on with the show, and let's have some fun, because we've actually got some fun stuff to actually share. And which should we go with first, everybody? Which story should we go with first? Should we go with the puppy? Let's see if I can find the puppy.
Everybody likes puppies.
Oh yeah, puppies are nice. See if I can get a screen that has the puppy.
Mm.
No, that's not it. Is that it? Nope, that's not it either. Though that is a nice picture I could share. Let's see. Nope, that's the Muppets. Which I do wish that we could have uh, the halftime show I want to see is Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. Because have them, Weird Al Yankovic, do a show, I think that would be the most awesome halftime show ever. But
I
I
agree.
know it's not going to happen, you know.
Throw
Not that lucky.
throw in Ray Stevens. Throw in Ray Stevens, then you got a masterful halftime show.
Well, I would say that if he was, if his health would allow him to do it, because last I heard, his health has been not been good, which sucks, and he is a national treasure that needs to be protected at all costs because it's oh man, I can't get over how he's been with us for how long? I mean, Ray Stevens has been operating since before I was born, doing the funny his funny songs and everything. I know somebody had was on Tony's stream was talking about the fact that Dr. Demento has retired. Pushing the button will end it all.
Let's see.
You're really going to make me do it?
Ragsdale. Harold
You're
Ray
making me do
Ragsdale,
it.
better known as Ray Stevens, was born in 1939.
Bad synchronicity. Bad.
Ooh,
Bad
so,
synchronicity.
so early for the bottle.
Yeah, I know. He popped right up with it too, man. See, I'm telling you, man. They're itty bitty, and I don't know how to make them bigger. Oh, you should read the first part. No, it'd be best to talk about pushing the button to stop our pop culture and history from being mocked, referring to DC's video about the Amadeus remake. I've not seen that yet. So.
I'm actually fresh out of watching it right before I joined the call pre-stream.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's yeah, I'm not going to spoil it, but
is it really that bad?
It's bad enough for DC to nearly lose his mind to temporary insanity.
Oh God. That movie, the original Amadeus, was one of the best movies.
Yep.
That showed just how the type of person that Mozart was. That he was. He proved the brightest of stars burnt out the soonest.
Mm-hmm.
And he, in many ways, he did what so many rock stars in our lifetimes has done about burning themselves out.
Mm-hmm.
Where they just allowed their passion to overwhelm everything.
I'll give you an example.
Spectrum.
How many people here have heard of Tom Hulce? Seriously. He played the titular character in the original movie. The guy hasn't been able to be casted into anything major really ever since, because the guy was so much the character of Amadeus that Hollywood wouldn't cast him for anything else. Nothing. That was it. The guy poured himself into that persona so much that there was nowhere else for Hollywood to take him.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I mean, the movie Amadeus was perfection. It
Yeah.
just was one of those movies that doesn't need a remake.
Yep.
It really doesn't. The only
really
thing that they
can't.
should do, if anything, would be a remaster where they go in and they digitize it and clean it up.
Mm-hmm.
And that also would do the same thing as making a remake to protect their IP. That's one of the reasons why I think that they're doing the remastering of the original trilogy that they're going to be releasing
Mm-hmm.
for
I
Star Wars.
am dreading that.
Well, the remastering of the original trilogy is them actually remastering the original trilogy that was released,
Right.
and not the extended special edition.
Yep. Well,
The way I look at it, with the way Disney is now, by remaster, I envision them replacing the
Pushing
Force
that in there.
Ghosts, replacing the Force Ghost with female versions of everybody.
yeah. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, that
And
And then
Yeah.
they somehow find a way to shoehorn Ray in somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go get even further. Even if you look at when this information first leaked a couple of months ago, because it came out of Europe, because it's being produced by the European equivalent of HBO Sky, and even there, okay, and of all places, Reddit. Yep, I said the R word. They're like, they don't know what to make of this, because you get phrases like, I didn't know that Amadeus Wolfgang Mozart was Japanese. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but it's like, okay, if you're going to reinterpret it, but you're not going to be historically accurate, kind of be upfront about it.
yeah.
Be upfront about it. So, okay, it is what it is.
Let's see, is that not working?
Yeah. When DC made that X post that he talked about in the video, the first thing I did was make a comment saying, and let's not forget how Beethoven was a blonde Japanese schoolgirl with a talking cat.
Yeah, but there you go.
Direct reference to Sailor Moon there.
Yeah.
It's insane, man. It is insane.
Yeah,
I just have gotten to a point to where
the
insanity, I have to make fun of it so I don't lose my mind, because we're getting to that point though that they've lost so much money that hopefully the lunacy is going to have to stop, because they can't keep losing this much money. I mean, it's like the stuff that's been going on with Disney. The only reason why Disney's had the money to throw it away like they've been doing is because of the parks. Now, Teague was talking about the fact that they'll probably be able to keeping that money coming in by pretty much turning the parks into an expensive boutique experience.
Yeah. Well, I don't think, as long as George Soros is alive and in control of pretty much everything media related, as long as George Soros is around, I don't think we're going to see any sort of change.
Well,
Well,
fortunately, his kid got arrested. I think it was in his native Hungary because they've got laws. They actually passed laws about him. He's not. He was known for crashing economies uh, back in the day.
mhm.
The pound sterling, the British pound sterling, used to be. Let's see, what's the word? It used to be one of the gold standard currencies
Mhm.
until George Soros crashed it. Because for the longest time, the West didn't stop George Soros crashing economies because he was crashing the Warsaw Pact economies a lot. And yeah, that was how that went. And it's just, I still can't get past some of the insanity of the things that George Soros has gotten away with doing.
Mhm.
And the only reason why he's been able to get away with it is the fact that for the longest time it was politically expedient.
Mm.
And
I hate to say this. I hate to say this. But for a very rare moment, I actually agree with Siggy on this one.
yeah,
Because there comes a point when we have to stop saying stop it, please stop. And we have to just say enough is enough, screw this, I'm calling in the big guns.
yeah. My only
I
problem
hate to say it, and you can pull the spray bottle out on me. I hate to say it, but I am close to telling DC to just push the button.
Well, I've not hit the black pill yet because the moment you hit black pill, that's literally just give up and popping your own self. You know,
Yeah.
that's not how I see.
Now don't let that go to your head, Siggy. This is a rare moment. Make no
Yep.
mistake, I hate cultists. I have no respect for cults.
Nope.
I mean, it depends if the cult worships thick thighs. If then, I'm in.
Oh,
Now, if it worships
Chubby likes thick
an
thighs,
imaginary so-called self-proclaimed deity, then no.
I mean, if you're
There's only
Christian, you
one
can't
true
really
God.
say much.
There's only one true God.
I mean, well, with your belief
If
of
you could
one
be-
God, then why wouldn't you consider all other religions to be cult-like and treat those as
Jimmy,
such?
It's
I kind
clear to
of
you,
sense
Ellie.
some sort of
There,
hypocrisy there.
we could go down
We
that
actually
rabbit hole.
do.
Some folks, we
Hmm.
could go down that rabbit hole. That's not to say that there isn't a case to be made. There's many other interpretations about where the God of Isaac and Abraham came from, per se, if you listen to some university historians. But then again, as I said earlier to everybody, I go back to the root of what the hell are they teaching in universities today.
Yep.
The vast majority of what
Amen.
is being taught in universities today is utter tripe. TRIPE, for those who don't know high school English. Okay. For others who might come from across the pond, I just named entrails. That's what they're teaching. Okay.
they've not been been education centers for
Yeah.
at least 30 years.
I mean, well, schools aren't really meant to be education centers. They were originally created to teach children to be good factory workers.
Well,
At least that's what I heard. But
Not precisely. Not precisely. If you go back to the foundations quote unquote schools of thought in Greece, even Mesopotamia, hell, even Rome. Their idea of higher learning was to teach rhetoric, teach logic, to teach philosophy. What am I talking about? Critical thinking. In other words, being able to look at something objectively and ascertain what the F am I looking at.
Mm.
Okay. They are not teaching that in universities today. There's ample enough video evidence with anyone. I'm not just talking about Charlie or the Mug Club folks. I'm not going to name them by name.
What's a mud club?
Hey,
It's a
folks
show.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Folks talking to those folks where students that even proclaim that they are students of history cannot describe the nature of what the Federalist Papers are, okay, and why even the Marines were formed in the first place. For
And
those
why they were called the Leathernecks.
yeah, and for those wondering why, if anybody is concerned about, they're not knowing why, it's because our and also European sailors and anybody carrying out trade in the Mediterranean, okay, and I mean regular trade. I don't mean slave trade. I mean regular trade. We're getting pirated by Muslim pirates. There's a reason they called it the Barbary Coast. And when the ambassadors went, and this was in London, went and spoke to ambassadors from some of the Muslim countries, I think Libya, or then it was called Tripoli, and they asked them, well, why are you doing this? We've never done anything to you. They came back and said, because the Quran says we are to take upon infidels. And technically, y'all are infidels.
Well, a lot of people don't. I got into this on Facebook this past weekend with some idiot who, because somebody was had posted on Facebook a recorded interview with a former slave, and he was talking of this former slave from the America that was freed in the American Civil War. He was talking about what it was like being a slave, and he was referring to how he was treated as a slave. That all these people that was talking about how bad slaves got treated, and he was upset about it, and he was telling the truth that he and the other slaves that was in his orbit lived through. And this somebody had mentioned the fact, was talking about the white slaves, because very few people talk about the fact that there were white slaves, mostly Irish, in the United
Pretty
States.
sure. Sorry to cut you off. Well, because I just want to say that the first ever slaves were actually white.
Yeah, that's where the term slave came from, was because of Slavs and slave kind of correspond with each other, but that's where the root of the word came from. But a lot of people ignore the fact that the majority of the slave trade of modern times was Muslim. Muslim pirates and slavers raided all throughout the North Africa, the Mediterranean, around the Mediterranean, and up into Northern Europe, routinely raiding Ireland and parts of I can't remember which coast of England that they would raid as well. It was extensive, and people posted this information, and they see, what was the word? This one idiot was sitting there going, "Whites have never been slaves," and we were like going, "Oh, you sweet, sweet, stupid summer child." And we started posting links to articles from World Heritage and things of this nature. And I even posted about how there's a reason why the African diaspora went into the Western world where Africans were slaves and not into the Eastern Muslim world, because everybody talks about how that there's a massive monument that was in Western Africa uh, for all the Africans that were sold into slavery that went west. And I'm like, ask yourself a question. Why isn't there one for the Africans who went into slavery in the East? Because there has been attempts, repeated attempts over the past 60 years to get one made. And every time that these people have been able to secure a piece of land to build it, it gets taken out from under them from places in the Middle East, such as Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and big money bags will come in and buy that property out from under them to keep them from building this monument, because it's a monument to all the slaves that died that were being shipped east. And 9 out of 10 male African slaves died because they were given clean shaves down below. And for anybody who is like, well, what is that? The Theon treatment from Game of Thrones, where the twig and berries are removed, and 9 out of 10 of them died from gangrene.
Okay.
And the reason why there was the females that were sold into sex slavery, the reason why there was no children that came out of that was because 90% of the time, if the sex slave, she got pregnant, after the baby came into being, it was put down. And that's why the African diaspora to the east was not prominent. And this guy lost their ever-loving mind, even though there were other people from Africa that was posting saying, yes, he's telling you the truth. We've been trying to build this monument for decades now. And dude just couldn't handle it and completely had a meltdown. And like I said, I didn't want to be this heavy, but it's a basic fact that they don't teach in schools because it goes against the narrative. For the longest time, I remember when I was in school and they were actually trying to teach us that the African slave trade was because a whole bunch of white Europeans went into the deepest, darkest parts of Africa and was rounding up people to go sell them into slavery. And we were all asking the question, well, if that's the case, how come all Africans didn't just get together and kick those dudes out? And the teacher didn't have no answer for it. And then after I got into college and started learning about the slave trade, how it actually operated, we were like, holy crap. You mean the Dahomey, an African nation, was actually one of the biggest suppliers of African slaves? That they were selling their own people into slavery? This is stuff that they don't want people to know about. And that's why I don't see a lot of the higher institutions nowadays aren't teaching. They're indoctrinating. They're not teaching people how to think. They're teaching them what to think.
That's the point. They're not teaching critical thinking. They're not teaching rhetoric. They're not teaching logic. They are teaching, this is what you're supposed to think. This is why you're supposed to think it. We will test you on how well you can regurgitate it.
Mm-hmm. And okay, the Woman King, the movie The Woman King, a few years back, there was a big hullabaloo about this.
Yep.
Because they were literally rewriting history, and in a massive, massive way. One of the actresses that were supposed to be one of the lead stars in it, she was from Africa. And they celebrated the fact that she was going to be starring in this movie. And she started doing her research into it. And then when she discovered the truth behind the Dahomey and the slave trade and how it wasn't Europeans that did it, but their own people that were doing it, she said, no, if we're going to make this movie, let's do it right. Let's tell the truth. And Hollywood has pretty much blacklisted her because she actually did a documentary about it, where she was basically taking people to the monuments that had been built for the Africans that went into slavery and ended up going west. And they did touch on the attempts to get monuments made for those who went east.
But you see, here's the thing. Part of what's going on in universities
Mm-hmm.
is they don't want people who look different from one another
Mm-hmm.
to do 5 words or 4 words. 4 words. They're the most dangerous words that any of these folks could ever encounter. Do you know what those 4 words are?
Think
I'm from the
for
government,
them.
and
Nope.
I was going to say,
Nope.
I'm
Nope.
from the government, and I'm here to
Nope.
help.
Nope. 4 words.
Think
It's very
for
simple.
think for themselves.
That was
That-
9 words. Anyway.
That's a precursor.
Mm.
That has to happen before the 4 words that I'm going to share with you. The 4 words are talk to each other. That's it.
Yep. And that's what the
that's
what the government doesn't want us doing.
or the mainstream media. That is why a certain young man lost his life last month.
Well,
I said what I said.
I just got a message from one of my shadow sources.
Hmm?
He sent me a message that says that he had a friend of his that's also watching us right now, and he goes, "What makes more sense? The white man showed up and hunted those wild warrior men on their home turf like the fucking predator, or they sold each other."
Mm.
I've offered my shadow informant many a times to come on and do it.
Look, I'm going to say it. The Spanish, they did some what the hell were you thinking things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they make good food. I'd consider it
Yeah,
worth it.
yeah. That's not what we're talking about, though. They did some what the hell were you thinking things. Okay, but the fact is that if we go back and project forward and completely generalize, because basically what's going on here a lot of the times is a generalization fallacy or a false dilemma fallacy. And that's the thing, they don't teach this sort of thing in colleges anymore. Okay, they do not teach critical thinking and logic into what kind of argument am I looking at. One of the most fundamental problems that you're going to find today is that nothing is objective and everything is subjective.
Yeah, how does this make me feel? Has become the battle cry.
I'm sorry, Ben.
But Marcelo, like you said, the Vikings took slaves from the British Isles and elsewhere and sold them all across Europe.
Dude, they sold them. There is documentation that they sold them to Muslim countries, for crying out loud.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dude, how are you going to find light-colored eyed people in Iran? Green-eyed people in Iran. Where did those genes come from? Do a 23andMe on those folks. I'm just saying.
I've always wanted to do one of those 23andMe's.
Well,
It'd be
you see, those are those uncomfortable truths, man. I mean, it's like you can't hide from DNA, just like you can't hide from math.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. It just is. Some of our mathematics might be a little off, but some of them are pretty stable. E=mc². Yeah, we pretty much got that one down. We're not messing with that one. Well, if it says that your genetic material is 23% Scandinavian, chances are you had somebody who came from Scandinavia. Yeah, but I'm from the southeast Mediterranean. Hey, dude, they got around. They got
Yep.
around.
See, that's the thing that I would love to do get several history people on to where we could talk about the history, various bits of history, because history is one of my passions. It's something that I've always said you need to know where you came from to see where you're going to go.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times you fall back, even unknowingly, you fall back on historical narratives of what to do in the future. It's one of the reasons why I am terrified of the possibility of what a civil war would look like. Because the last time we had one, it was called the war between the states, was also a war of brother against brother, father against son, all the way down the line, because there were entire families that were divided about it. And that's what we would end up having if we were to get into that today.
And with every war,
there's nothing but victims.
Kids getting swept in, not knowing why they're getting swept in, and buying into the group think once they're swept in, and then after the fact realizing, well, wow, we were sold a bill of goods.
Yeah,
we were sent up the river.
There's a movie, Little Boy. Have you guys seen Little Boy? It's a World War II movie. It focused on this kid who was really, really close with his dad, because the kid was tiny. He wasn't a dwarf or a midget. He just didn't grow big. And him and his dad were like super tight. His dad gets drafted because his older brother had flat feet and couldn't get drafted after Pearl Harbor. And his dad goes to go fight the Japanese in the Pacific. He gets captured as a prisoner of war. And every day the little kid would go out to the dock and try to reach out to pull his dad home and to end the war fast. And he would it's a heartwarming movie that had Michael Rappaport in it. It was one of Michael Rappaport's better movies. If you guys can see it, you can stream it. If I remember right, it's on Netflix. It's either on Netflix or Amazon. I can't remember which, but I do know I streamed it to watch it. And it showed how this little kid felt about the Japanese, and it was spilling over to the Japanese Americans until he met one of his Japanese American neighbors who was pro-America and showed him that it's just really a good, heartwarming movie that I recommend. But yes, children, these things affect children in such a greater way. But as I have said before, there are no victors in war. Everybody suffers in war.
Yep.
It's not something you want to do.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Violence begets violence begets violence. That's one of the reasons why those of us who have done this, who have taken lives, we don't like that. But we also know if push comes to shove, we can do it. And we look for ways to not have to do it.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
Once you realize that, there's a difference between someone who is harmless and someone who is peaceful. Someone who is peaceful is somebody who either has or know they can, when they are pushed into it, utilize overwhelming, brutal force when necessary. And they will do everything in their power not to have to resort to that. That is a peaceful person. A harmless person, which a lot of people in government want, that's why they want to take away the Second Amendment, okay, is the fact they want everybody to be harmless so they can tell them what to do and have total control over them. A harmless person cannot resort to violence because they just can't do it. Or it's not a factor of they won't do it, it's the fact that they have been conditioned to not do it. It's like with elephants. Have you ever gone to zoos or circuses back when they still had live animals as part of the circus shows? If you go and look in India, where elephants are still used as beasts of burden, if you'll notice, the restraints for those elephants are like tiny little strings tied around their ankle.
Mhm.
That's because they've been conditioned not to try to break it and to be hindered by it. That is the conditioning that we as a society have been
Someone's
going
getting
through.
a message.
Yep. And that's where we're at, you know. I do not want to see the country I love and the people I love rip themselves apart. I don't even want to see any country go through that. I don't want to see anybody suffer. Even the people who want me dead, I don't want to see them suffer. It's one of the reasons why whenever I was forced to utilize deadly force, I always did it as quickly and cleanly as possible to prevent suffering. It's also one of the reasons why I support the death penalty. And I'm going to give you guys my reasoning behind it. And I'm going to use animals to prove my point. You will not keep an animal in a small little cage until it dies. Because of why? It's inhumane. It breaks the spirit of that animal. Why do you think zoos have such large enclosures? They're still caged up, and I don't like it. I prefer those nice big free range ones where they get to roam in as close to a natural environment as they can possibly get. But it goes back to the whole point. You don't chain up dogs, put them in little cages and things of this nature, because it's inhumane. It breaks their spirit. It destroys them. It makes them, it just destroys them. Humans are the same way.
Yep.
Humans are social creatures. We are supposed to have companions in our lives. Even the quote unquote lone wolf types who prefer isolation, they still have periods where they need somebody around them.
Yep. Even solitary predators have times in their lifetime where they must come and congregate and interact with others of their own for purely social reasons.
Yep.
Nothing else, not even breeding, purely social reasons. It happens in It happens in big cats. It happens in I'm trying to think. It happens in certain. It even happens in certain bird, bird species
Hmm.
that live mostly solitary. And
But
they've
they
got to
still,
come together and congregate. Now, breeding might come of it, but they still come together primarily for social reasons.
yep. And that's the thing. Even snakes, poisonous, deadly snakes, they do come together for more than just bumping uglies.
Yep. Yep.
Hey, Shrubby, are you popping in or not? If you do, just go ahead and pop on in. I, I I didn't mean to roll off into a rant. It's just the fact that
No, it's all right. It's
I
all right.
don't like the fact that so many people nowadays aren't getting educated to think. They're just
Well,
it sucks because
you
there's
know,
so
that
there's
that's a
so
topic. That's a topic for we could spend an entire stream on that, Richard.
yeah, I know.
We could spend an entire stream on that.
I just love learning things. That's the part that gets me.
Well,
I mean, it's why people keep asking me how I know so much, and I just look at them and I say the simplest of phrases. I like to read, and I love learning because the more, if you're not learning something new, you're doing nothing. That's why I spend. Okay, we had the nor'easter that came in. We had a massive set of storms that hit us this week, and we were without power. We lost power for a while, and the entire next day I had spotty internet. That's why a lot of people didn't hear from me for what was it, 24 to 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And when I finally got internet back, everybody was sending me messages going, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm okay. We just didn't have internet." The whole time I was standing on my head because I couldn't reach out to the people that I love, so to let them know I'm okay. And I couldn't do the research that I normally love doing, i.e., something catches my fancy, I start looking into it and try to learn about it. Because that's one of the reasons why I don't have all the information on the Tennessee explosion that I wanted to have, because I actually had plans to, when I opened up with us having the moment of silence, I wanted to show the pictures of the people that we lost in that explosion. And unfortunately, I could not get a picture to be able to show it to y'all because I had found the picture and I thought I could upload it and put it in the background so people could see it. And unfortunately, it was too cut and you just couldn't have seen them. So I wasn't able to do that.
The sad part about that, Richard, is that the minute that this went down, most of the mainstream media were already trying to spin this as a failure of how we as a country manage the Second Amendment. They were already taking a tragedy of loss of human life and looking to spin it for their own political advantage. I understand that there are families involved, and my heart goes out to those families. Their loved ones cannot be replaced. There is no dollar figure to put on them.
Mm-hmm.
And if there are failings in their systems, those need addressing. Okay, but to take this beyond that and make this a generalized systemic problem is an example of how the left works, to take something localized and use a generalization fallacy to try to confuse the general public into buying into their narrative. and like I said, this could go into a completely other stream. But the fact is that if you look at I'll call it the playbook of the left, this is how they work. The point is to confuse and incense people, which is why I tell folks who are either right of center or central, okay, is think for yourselves in anything.
Yep.
Think for yourselves.
And do your research.
Absolutely do your research, and even so far as to don't trust Google.
Mm-hmm.
I said what I said.
Yep. Well, let's go ahead and hit something fun. And
Yeah,
we've got Alice here.
We got a lot of that.
Okay, Alice is a surgical nurse, and we're gonna bring up this case because it's funny.
Yeah. When Richard sent me this on Discord, just thinking about this made me very uncomfortable.
Who's
I'm sure he was very uncomfortable too.
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna, for those who can't read it, I will read it for you. Never wear a butt plug to your MRI appointment. Oh my God. Okay. The greatest personal injury case I have ever heard. Chris Goodnow, an estimated Valley attorney, has picked up a client who is suing a sex toy company. Said client purchased a butt plug that was advertised as 100% silicone. Client wears said butt plug to an MRI appointment. Much to the client's dismay, the butt plug, in fact, has a metallic core. The butt plug is accelerated at the speed of sound up into the client's chest cavity, described in a memo as an anal railgun. Thankfully, the client survived with major injury.
I'm gonna have to take a beat on that one. I'm gonna have to plead the fifth on that one.
They obviously did not have their safety protocol in place with this one.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. Marcelo, with that comment, was that you?
That was me, because there were responsible parties involved in that transaction that should have seen that coming. Yes. And no pun intended. No pun intended. This literally, this is what separates the men from the boys, gentlemen.
And the boys who want to be girls.
No comment.
Even the straightest get very excited when you tell them when they wake up after surgery that you had to shove a butt plug up their ass. His greatest statement was he turned to us wide-eyed just 2 weeks ago and said, "Really? I have to tell my brother."
Oh God.
And this was after we flipped him over asleep, and he woke up and said that he was open, ready for business, single, and ready to mingle.
Well, when I went in for my when I went, I don't know who you are, Dwayne Alonzo, whatchamacallit, but no, this is funny. Anyway, when I went for my colonoscopy, it's one of the most embarrassing things to go through. So I told them I'm going to be making some jokes here, so I don't completely die of shame and embarrassment. And they said, "That's cool. So what's the joke you're going to tell us?" The one you've probably heard a lot. "I'm not a cheap and easy date. One of y'all's got to take me out for steak afterwards."
Okay, Richard, I have to stop you for just a second. Dwayne, please stop making these kind of comments.
Mm-hmm.
I am I am co-streaming this to my channel, I will ban you. It is uncalled for and it is wrong.
Oh, you can have free
Do
speech.
not. I
but
do not
this is
like.
bullshit.
I do not like. What you're doing is. What you're doing is making fun of an entire group of people, which qualifies in this particular case the way you're doing it as political prejudice. That is hate speech, not free speech.
Mm-hmm.
Know the difference, please. And
Because
be
right now
respectful.
what we're doing right now with this is the fact that it's funny, not because of any of that. It's because somebody was dumb enough to wear a butt plug at all.
Do you mind not
Am I
spamming the
right?
comments with the same thing? It's just repeatedly coming up.
I just want to say
For me,
that
anyway.
as a Jew whose family was taken out by Hitler, that hits a little hard. And considering you don't know what side of the street I lie on,
Mm-hmm.
I would watch it.
Yeah.
You don't know me. You don't know my opinions, and you don't know where my family comes from.
Oops.
So
Like, I'm a good person of free speech. I believe someone can say like practically whatever the fuck they want. I just believe in like keeping the vibe.
There's a difference between free speech and being openly hateful.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
or
what
stirring the pot, or just a pot
which is what
stir.
Wing was being.
I didn't see anything hateful. I just saw
Yeah.
a couple jokes. I mean, if you
Well,
took offense, then
the Hitler thing, that
was
the
definitely
Hitler
hateful.
thing, that's where I drew the line. That
Yeah,
comment was
yeah,
why I
well,
had to ban him.
yeah. I get where you're coming, Juarevo. YouTube likely has already scanned
Slam
and
dust.
struck. One of the things that I've learned is that you have to be incredibly judicious when you use certain words,
That's
not
why I
because
say
you,
funny
yeah,
mustache man.
not because you may not be historically accurate, logically accurate, objectively accurate, but because the algorithm on the platform does not draw a distinction among any of those things. And so to avoid being struck by the platform, steering clear of those particular disturbances in the waters is probably in everybody's in everybody's best interest. Not that you're wrong, not that you're incorrect, not that you're inaccurate. From a logical perspective, it's just that's how the algorithm works, baby.
Yep.
And
I fully agree with Sig Valdison here. And this is something I say a lot. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequences.
Yeah,
And he also said it is not an opinion, just a talking point, and that's also true.
And that's why I say much of the time, YouTube, you can kiss my mule. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yep. And
Okay.
that's okay. One of my shadow informant has sent me a message.
So there you go.
Okay.
Why would you want YouTube to kiss a donkey?
Okay. Current CIA insiders have leaked that President Trump has approved lethal missions in Venezuela.
What?
This is rumor. This is rumor. But there is a SEAL mothership off the coast, so it's quite possible that this is a true story. If it
could be interesting.
If this is, it's because of the fight going on against the drug cartels. That it's picked up really bad because of the somebody is finally doing something about
Yeah,
the fentanyl epidemic, and I am so happy about this.
Amen.
I'll allow it. Yeah.
Because I've got to do something right quick. Hold on. Give me a moment. Here it is. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Incoming rant. Here it is. This is an official rant. I'm sick and
going
tired.
to step
of
away
the-
for just a second to get me some water. I'll be back.
All right. I am sick and tired of the fentanyl epidemic being classified as the opioid epidemic. Because of this, I can't get pain medicine.
Mm-hmm.
It's because all of the people that have been given drugs that have been laced with fentanyl and it kills them, it gets classified as an opioid overdose death.
Yep. Never mind that you have companies like McKinsey making billions of dollars consulting the folks like Pfizer and
Thank you, Marcelo.
others to. Hey, I got you. Those folks are making bank while people who have legitimate medical necessity are getting the shaft.
Mhm.
And that's it. And that's in the general public. If we take it even further into our veteran population, don't even get me started on that.
That's
Okay?
where
Don't
my
even get
biggest problems are coming from, is because my medical care is handled by the VA.
Okay, let me put it to you this way. I mean, I could get banned and wherever could throw me off the stream, and he would be in his full right to do so. But veterans are getting it, like Ving Rhames were getting it from those two guys in Pulp Fiction in the basement. That's how veterans are getting it today, in my opinion.
All right, let me put it this way. All right. I've shared my health issues, that I have really bad drug allergies, and this is something that I'm worried about for Zachary, that if he inherited a lot of because he's inherited a lot of traits from me, and I'm afraid he might have inherited some of my medical allergies as well.
Oh, I took every single drug under the sun, and I ain't have no reaction. So I'm pretty sure I'm all good.
Good, because I can't take aspirin, I can't take Tylenol, I can't take Motrin, and whatever you do, do not give me morphine, because you will not like what happens, because it causes me to have a pharmacologically induced psychotic break as the toxins build up in my system.
Ooh, that's why I can't take Dilaudid.
Because I can't. The toxins build up in my system, and it amplifies the pain. We discovered that well before my accident. When the accident happened, as I'm sitting there and the doctor's looking at me, do you have any drug allergies? As my legs are not there. And I'm like, whatever you do, don't give me this. Don't give me aspirin, Tylenol, Motrin, and codeine. And whatever you do, no morphine. It's not going to work. It's not going to kill the pain. It's going to make me, it's going to do bad things to me. Okay. And the VA told them, please, for the love of God, do not give him morphine. Guess what the doctor said? Oh, he can't be allergic to morphine. We're giving him morphine. So I was going from Dilaudid shot to Dilaudid shot, dealing with the pain, until the pharmacologically induced psychotic break hit.
Wow.
Getting to read the doctors' and nurses' notes was amazing, because I have no memory of about a week and a half because of the pharmacologically induced psychotic break, where they had to literally strap me to a bed. Because the only part of me that wasn't damaged was my right arm. And yet I was still escaping, and it took 10 big, huge, honking dudes to get me strapped back down to that bed. Okay. I did not know who I was. They were asking me 3 times a day, what is your name? Do you know where you're at? And do you know what country you're in?
Wow.
I did not know who I was, but I knew I was having to escape to get to my wife and my kids. And when they asked me who my wife and my kids were, I stated their full names, where they were at, and how come, and that I had to get back to them. I thought was being held against my will and had been kidnapped.
See, I can't take morphine. It does nothing for me with my colostomy except for make things worse. So for me, it's Dilaudid. That's what I have to take.
They couldn't figure out what would work on me. No.
But like I said,
Nothing.
So I have to take
nothing.
I have
Just
to
nothing. I can't. I'd be Tylenol does nothing. Any of the stuff, nothing. Nothing works on me. Nothing.
Yes, Iggy, a malpractice lawsuit could have definitely have happened.
Well, the thing is, everybody's physiological makeup is so different because we were even talking about this
exactly.
today. And you know, like crazy can take Dilaudid, but if you give it to me, I sat up and punched a surgeon I knew for 15 years. So it's just one of those things that is so person dependent. But
it's like whenever I get, whenever they inject me with Dilaudid, I always comment how wonderful it smells.
Nope.
And there's other people who have been injected with Dilaudid who don't get that smell. But every now and again, somebody says, "Yeah, it does smell good, doesn't it?" That's the whole.
It's also big pharma,
Mhm.
and it's also their control, and they know this, and it's they specifically in. From my standpoint, is they design these drugs so not everything works on everybody, and they know how different bodies interact and how your physiology will interact with this. So you have to have, not everybody can take morphine. So now there's competition, and some people can take Dilaudid, and some can do this. It's just all this bigger picture, because let me tell you, when we put you to sleep, there is a very small set of drugs that will work on everybody.
Yep.
And now, when I went, okay, I go through the VA. I had a doctor, and Dr. Rappaport was one of the most amazing doctors out there. He actually cared about his patients. He would call me at home whenever we started a new drug protocol to make sure I wasn't having any negative reactions. And he also would call me up out of the blue and says, "Richard, I've got a serious question." "Yes." "Are you taking your medicine?" "Of course." "Are you taking the full dose?" "Maybe." "No." Bad, Richard. Take the full dose. That's why I gave it to you. But I'm afraid I'm going to end up addicted to it. And he's like, "Because you're afraid of getting addicted to it, I know that you're being careful, but you got to take the full doses of the medicines so you're going to get better." And so he would fight the bureaucrats, especially when it came to the fact that the only pain medicines that was working for me was methadone for my base level for pain management. And then I had oxycodone for breakthrough pain that I only took when absolutely necessary. Now, I've not had pain medicine since he retired during Obama's last term, because when they were quadruple booking him, and he was not. If one of his patients showed up for the appointment, he stayed till that patient got solved. He would literally eat his lunch at his desk between patients, sick patients, and sometimes he actually was eating his sandwich during his appointment of being with the patient, and he burnt out. And so I don't blame him for retiring. But he had so many patients that were like me that had drug allergies that were having to take pretty hefty meds. And he was able to stand up to the bureaucrats for us because he would sit there and actually pull up medical records proving that these were the only drugs that worked to help these patients better their lives. And when he retired, he had to go and recruit doctors to take those patients that would be willing to fight for that patient. So each of these patients went to a doctor who that patient would be that doctor's only patient requiring that level of standing up to the bureaucrats. And unfortunately, the primary care physician I ended up getting, she refuses pretty much to do her job. Every time I call and try to set up appointments or need to talk to her and ask her to return my calls, it never happens. So I'm seriously going to be asking for a new primary care physician this upcoming year because I can't live with that no more. That I'm in pain 24/7. I can't even keep my house clean, and that's driving me nuts. My house is a mess, and I can't stand it. I'm the guy that used to be able to fill day a compartment, and it would be so clean you could eat off the ground. And it's driving me nuts. But that's why the fentanyl stuff really upsets me. It's because of the fentanyl BS and how deadly fentanyl is. A rock of fentanyl the size of a dime, if you were to drop it into a water reservoir that provides water for a city, you just killed half of a city from a single rock the size of a dime.
And the crazy thing is we use it every day at work.
Yes, because
It's
used.
safe, it's regulated, and that is, it's so scary for me to see something I use every day that puts my patient to sleep, gives them that pain relief, and ultimately makes their life better, destroy lives at the hands of people who choose to abuse it.
All right. Labro, everything good on your end?
Yeah, I'm starting to cool off.
All right, good. Because that's yeah. But
We
one of
love
the
you,
things
Warievo.
one of the things that people don't get, there is no such thing as a one size fits all.
Correct.
Especially when it comes to medicine.
Yep.
Because our physiologies are different. Yes, you've got it's like I've said before with my mom's side of the family that chemo drugs are miracle grow to cancer. And I've actually talked to other people who have had family members that went through chemo and it acted like miracle grow and they got eat up with even more cancer because of the chemotherapy. And for most people, the chemo helps save lives. But there are people out there that it does the exact opposite. But that's for every different type of drug that's out there. There is very few things that
It's because it's an industry. It has turned into an industry to keep people sick and make people well, and keep people sick and make people well. And until we have these conversations, just like about everything that's going on these days, and we talk about it, the truth isn't going to be seen.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I want this. That's why I want my channel to be an open door. That's why I say if you want to come on the panel, we'll come on the panel and have a talk. Because the more we talk about this stuff, to get it out there, the better off we are. And it's one of those things that frustrates me is that we we as a society used to be able to agree to disagree and still be friends and not have a problem with it. And I I did. I used to my circle of people I interacted with hit every conceivable type of person, be it different sexualities, different political ideologies, different religious ideologies. I used to have friends that were atheists until the atheists got to a point to where, oh, if you believe in that there's the possibility of a God, you're a moron and an idiot, and you just can't think straight. Even though I would be whipping their butts in debates on a whole lot of other subjects. And nope, nope, no shadow mine. No, you can always come on here, but you want to stay in the shadows, so you can't come on. I love my contacts, but like I said, I I look at the world and I see it for how it is, but I also see it for what it can be. That's why I have such great hopes for humanity. Is I see its potential. I see what it can do, and I can't help but to love them. I mean, God made us, and God make something. It's good. It's just the way we end up using it and treating it, and it's frustrating. Are you
Well, and it's
okay?
almost it's almost that they've taken people that are mostly multifaceted and have multiple interests,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be, you know, not only do you love history, but you love anime
Mm-hmm.
or you love politics and this, and it's almost like, no, 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 you can't have that many interests. Like,
But I
no, no,
do.
no, no, no. These people can't provoke these thoughts in you,
Well, the
like
funny thing is, I never thought I had autism because autists are usually a single focus. And my friends
I
were like going,
I
"You
can
do have
definitely
it."
confirm that.
He made the statement, and all my other friends pretty much backed it up that I do have a single focus. And I was like, "What are you talking about? I'm interested in everything." And they just looked at each other and started laughing and says, "That's your single focus, is learning something new. If something piques your interest, you become obsessed with learning about it." And that's it. Yes, Marcella is right. If anybody who's watching this and enjoying it, please share it with others. Don't forget to hit the like button. Slap it like it's one of your hoes hiding your money. So
Yep.
hit it, slap
Smack
it.
smack the
Yeah.
like button like it insulted your mom.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, hey, not for new subs, for simply for awareness of these subjects, because the fact is that,
The algorithms.
yeah, well, and I'll go you even further. Some of the bigger folks are not going to talk about things plainly the way we are. They're not
Because
gonna.
they're big and they don't want to. They're
Yeah,
big.
they're not gonna.
Plus the fact that for them, I totally get it, especially whenever they need the monetization. I'm
Yep.
I'm so small. I'm not monetized. I'm not getting any money off of this. That's why I'm setting up a
Mhm.
Patreon for it. Even though I'm not doing this for money, I'm doing this to be the positive change I want to see in the world. I want to see people able to talk again. I
Correct.
want to see people to bond over the things that they share. That was the whole point of pop culture, was to bring us together, to give us that bridge that can make totally different people sit around a table and laugh and have fun. That's why I loved role playing games so much. Is the fact that you could be sitting around a table and busting each other's balls and having a good time and be friends, even when you disagreed about something on a
Yeah.
vitriol level.
Yep.
And
And
even it's the reason it's called pop culture is because it's popular. It's
Mhm.
supposed to bring us in, bring us together, give us something good that we have in common that we can all discuss and have fun with.
Yep. And that's the thing, you know. I get aggravated with a lot of really messed up stuff, and it just really it can be a real pain at times. You know what I mean, guys? And I look at the world as as something that has the potential to do such amazing things. That's why I loved Star Trek so much, because Star Trek was all about, we had moved past a lot of the crazy petty stuff. And I I I get aggravated with some of these people that are literally out there causing division, all because it supports their worldview. It's like what's been going on in the Portland insanity, and the people that are upset that Trump is activating National Guard and sending them to protect federal buildings. There is, let me see if I can find it. Dan Bongino posted the information about that law.
Yep.
And he actually posted the, let me see if I can find it, that was passed. I want to say it was passed during Obama's time in office.
Yep.
That allows for this to happen, that it's not violating the Constitution or Pote Comitatus. It's literally, because literally what it is where they're sending the National Guard to protect the federal buildings, so the police can go and do their job of keeping the peace.
You know, that brings up an interesting subject. You know, people talk about, well, because the framers of the Constitution this, the framers of the Constitution that. I'll tell you one loophole that was left out of the Federalist Papers, which in today's day and age would probably never pass Congress, but it would need to. And that is the case, that the states remain sovereign for the purpose of the federal government not usurping their authority, but the reciprocal. Notice how I said that, the reciprocal of that, where a state of the union is recognizable as not carrying out its responsibility to its citizens and to the union of maintaining order and stability within its borders, that it then becomes the responsibility of the union, i.e., other states, to, through the federal government, restore order to a particular state. Quite frankly, that kind of stuff is the stuff that was used without there being an amendment to the Constitution to justify the rationale for why the Civil War happened. Okay? Just throwing it out there history-wise. Kind of that logic was used for justifying why we are going into this Civil War. Well, let's look at Chicago. In Chicago, more people die on a weekend in any other major metropolitan city. Any. Okay? Several of them combined. Okay? I'll throw you another one. And some folks will say, well, Marcelo is generalizing. Okay. but each fact is incontrovertible. We have the media who's subordinating this by last year before the election uttering phrases like, oh, it's just a couple of apartment buildings that have been taken over by international gangs.
Mm-hmm.
I beg your pardon? I beg your pardon? And this went out on national television.
Yeah, they were trying to downplay it, and
National
as
television.
soon as I heard that, I was I was like, what?
Yeah,
And then I looked over at where I keep my equipment, and I was like,
but this is our media.
I walked over to where Nadine was at, and I said, we need to go to Colorado. And she's like,
but this is our media. And the funny part is that things like what were happening in Colorado go on a typical weekend in Chicago. This is the country's second largest city, and this is a typical thing. Okay, there's enough gang violence in Chicago to equate the amount of violence of gangs taking over apartments and a section of a town in Colorado on a per weekend basis. And yet the governor is unwilling to accept the fact that that is unacceptable.
Not only is it the governor, it's the mayor there. And what's messed up is they've done interviews on the streets with the people of Chicago saying, yes, please send the National Guard.
Exactly. You know, my take though, Richard, is the fact I'm going from the perspective of constitutionality. Okay. And people will say states' rights. Okay. And what happens when a particular state's governor, a duly elected official, is not actually maintaining order and safety in compliance with the Declaration of Independence of its citizens? Do you really think that the folks in southern Chicago are able to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of justice? Of course, you're never going to hear that on mainstream media. That's never going to come out. You're never going to hear that on pretty much, well, any news outlet, whether local or national. The fact is that anything in our Constitution implicitly has to support statements made in the Declaration of Independence, because that is from where our reason for existence is built from.
Yep.
Everything that is in our Constitution and all of its amendments are there to uphold the statements that we told King George when we told him to stick it, or when the American people told him to stick it.
You know, one of the things that gets me, all right, it's like with the whole stuff I've been dealing with the VA. The deep state, the bureaucratic, unelected, and unaccountable deep state is what's caused the majority of the problems we as a nation has been going through. The fact that you've got them, that's why we've got the establishment problem when it comes to political parties, or the uniparty, where it doesn't matter if they've got a little D after their name or a little R after their name.
Yep.
It's the establishment. It's this deep state. I truly believe every 10 years they should have a purge of the bureaucracy, because when you get people that get embedded into the bureaucracy, that's where the majority of the corruption is coming from. And that's something that the founding fathers never wanted. They never wanted us to have a politician class. They never wanted, I mean, the reason why they put our capital at the District of Columbia was the fact it was a swamp. It was a place where they wanted to make it as uncomfortable as possible for people to be there. So they would only stay there for short periods of time to do the government's business and then go back home.
Original
And-
topic. I think I generally forgot.
We're rambling for a moment.
No, it's okay.
The original topic was because my mind's just completely blanked out for like 3 minutes.
Well, originally we were talking about medical issues. So let's go to something fun. Let's go ahead and get back to fun things.
Yeah.
Let me see.
One
Where
thing.
did I
One
put?
thing. Tron Ares sucks. And I don't mean in a good way either.
I wanted it to. I was looking forward to a new Tron thing, and
Yeah.
then
Yep.
Bruce Broxleitner came out and was saying it's not what you think it's going to be,
Yep.
and I was like, oh God,
Yep.
please don't say that.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
I actually spent a good part of a stream, not this last week, but actually I think it was this last week, talking about the travesty that ended up being Tron Ares
Dude.
on Theta's channel.
Look, even look, okay. I saw within minutes when Latino Slant came out with his out of the theater review, I felt validated because everything all along that I had been hearing, little bits and pieces, was just validated. The first 10-15 minutes was a CGI fest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's most movies nowadays, anyway.
Total eye candy. Okay. The inclusion of Jeff Bridges was total. It wasn't even member berries. It's like, I'm here because you're here. What? That, you got to be kidding me. You could have written that in high school English composition. That's not what's supposed to come out of Hollywood. I'm here because you are. What? Yeah. You got to be kidding me, man. And I'm just gonna go on the record. I commented this on Latino Slant's stream. Anything ever since the Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice, where Jared Leto, or Leto, however you want to pronounce his name, played Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Anything after that with Jared Leto or Leto, anything like that is absolutely plague. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. If he wants to go back to his musical group 30 Seconds of Mars, I'm just going to go on the record. Dude, do that. Do that, because whatever product, whatever production you come out with from Hollywood, whatever they're giving you, it's not going to do you justice. Even if you give it the best shot, they're letting you down. They're letting you down. This was a total failure on the part of the writing and production.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
said what I said.
Stop for just a second. I have to stop for just a second. Crazy pointed out in the private chat that YouTube is down for them. I just noticed. I just refreshed because I monitor both streams.
Yeah.
YouTube is in fact down.
Wow. So
it's not just us. It's all. I went to Mary Stone's live. I got nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
Wow. So
nobody's seeing any of this?
Well, yeah, apparently not.
Just us.
I know that. I know that Tony
Scylla Calderon's minion just said it took him a while to get back in the stream.
Yeah.
All right. Lord Cypher says that he's still able to see us. So
yeah,
we've got that.
I know that.
Ask him if he's on. Are you watching on Rumble? Or are you watching on YouTube?
No. I just checked.
Oh, YouTube's back. Okay,
Yep,
YouTube.
it just loaded back in for me.
No,
All right, good.
It's on.
we might be back, but
right.
others are not.
Yeah.
Tony,
Well,
it's
others are not. Yeah. I checked something else, and
Tony's still Circle of Death.
yeah, Tony is still Circle of Death. The chat is active. But
Do we need to tell him, or you think he knows?
Nothing we can.
I'm headed over. I'm headed over right now. I'm gonna kind of let him know in the
This
chat.
might affect DC too, because isn't he at 8?
he's
Yep.
at
Yeah.
either at 8 or 8:30. 8 or
Okay.
8:30. 8 or 8:30. Yeah. But well, as long as we're here, Richard, you
All
and I should probably set aside some time to talk about some stuff kind of I'm not going to say script, but kind of lay some stuff down.
Yep. Since we've
'cause I
got this
think-
going, I
yeah.
want to go ahead and do another bit of humor.
Yeah.
Here it is. This is proof that we're definitely. This is some really messed up stuff that makes me actually think maybe we should push the button.
Is that
Yeah.
is that wait whoa
That
whoa,
is-
whoa.
Oh, that's
Bobby,
exactly what
is
you
that
think
like
it is.
real?
What is that?
This is real.
That wait
That's
a minute. That's
That's
actually
a song with pubic hair on it.
Mm-hmm.
the fuck?
Yes.
That is disgusting.
there. Okay, all right.
People are gonna buy
Normally-
it. I already know.
Normally, I would go with the flow, but unfortunately, I would go with the flow. I would go with the flow. But in this one instance, I may have to go full squid here, folks.
Yeah.
Push the button. Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
yes.
he's pushing.
Nope.
Skull of Calderon's minion is sitting there saying that we need to get a pair of those for
Nope.
Layro so he can wear it with the bucket.
Nope. Hey, look, man.
That's one sexy picture right there.
Don't insult me, Skull of Calderon's minion.
Wow.
Oh yeah, but I just kind
look.
of see him laid out now with one leg up and that bucket on.
No. I'm sorry, Alice, but I come from a time where we used to pool our money to rent a VHS videotape, and nope, this ain't gonna cut it. Nope,
It's not 80s. It's not 80s.
No, absolutely. Hey, look, we all natural, baby, but not this ain't gonna happen.
Yeah,
Nope.
well, Bush has made a
Bush is back,
comeback.
baby.
Nope.
The only Bush I want to see is the beard.
If I could play the I don't know if Richard has this or whoever has this, but the Danny DeVito from Throw Mama from the Train, that meme where Danny DeVito is going, nope. If there was ever a time for that meme, right now that is the time.
There's
That's
also
the time for this meme.
I can do this one.
Yeah. That pretty much sums it up. I mean, it's close. It's close enough.
And then there's also this one.
Absolutely not, baby. Absolutely not.
No fucks given.
Nope.
And if anybody wants the link to go buy these coins, let me know.
Look, I'm just gonna say I brushed my teeth this morning for a reason.
Oh, Siggy, yes, I totally agree about not wishing you that you knew about the pubic hair thon, because of that's the reason why I'm thinking, should we push the fracking button? And of course, I've got the twins looking at me, shaking their heads no, and slapping their butt, saying "kiss it."
Nope.
And Siggy has to at least we at least have to get through this so you and I can watch The Craft.
Mm-hmm.
No.
But
I'm sticking to it.
I just got some news, some game news here from one of my contacts. He says that the head of Assassin's Creed has left Ubisoft.
What?
And
Damn.
and that was and that was expectable.
Yeah, after what happened, I mean, they were talking about there was going to be. They just canceled the possibility
Yep.
of the game that was supposed to.
Mhm.
They was going to do a game set in the aftermath of the American Civil War.
Yep.
That sounded like it was going to be pretty cool, but then they
I
decided,
was-
no, we're not doing it.
Yep. Yep.
I was almost looking forward to that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not a
Horrible.
gamer.
I know it's your stream, but can I share something for about 3 seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
go ahead.
I swear I won't get you demonetized.
Well, it's actually Richard's stream, and I'm co-streaming it. Yes.
Well, there you go. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, baby. No, sorry,
I
that's
love
not
that.
it's not happening.
Send me that so I can put it in the background.
No,
Don't,
Yeah.
don't, they,
it's not
don't, they
happening,
need,
baby.
don't they need to add a like blue, green, and a purple for all these
No.
websites?
No, it's perfect as it is. The
Then
way
they
it's
can make
not intended.
the curtain match the drapes.
No, it's
It reminded
perfect
me
the
of what
way
Jim
it
Jim's
is.
bush would look like.
Nope, that's perfect. Not gonna
Yeah.
happen. Nope.
But no, I mean, I'm
yeah,
enjoying.
those coins. I want one of those coins so bad. That would be amazing. There's
Oh,
only 20. You go on the website. There's only like 20 left last time I checked. But if I had like 100 of them, I'd go into work passing them out to people I don't like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. But nope,
'Cause,
not
I mean-
gonna happen, man. We'll push the button before that goes down.
Yeah.
I love. When I saw it, I was like, oh my god, this is perfect for Shrubby. So I sent it straight to Shrubby. Then I sent it to Wavero, and then I started sending it to everybody else, saying, "Hey, you got to see this," because
Mhm.
one of Shrubby's things is I have no fucks left to give. And I was like, when I saw that coin, I was like, going, "Oh, this is too perfect."
There's actually a song that's all about that. Actually,
Mhm. And
Let
I
me-
mean,
let me see if I can dig it up real quick.
it's one of those things that I just love, man. It's so awesome, and I've seen so many funny things that just was so funny that I wanted to share this week, and it's the whole thing with the butt plug. The reason why I thought it was funny is all get out was the phrase anal railgun. And the fact that the dude that had it in
Wow.
was stupid enough to have it in for an MRI, even if it didn't have the metal core in it. That's a no. You're not supposed to go in there with stuff in you or on you, man. They tell you,
Mhm.
are you got any jewelry on? Do you have any
Yep.
any fillings? Do you have any metal holding body parts together? All this, the questions
But they
that they
didn't
ask.
say, did you have a butt plug in? And some people, you just have to be that literal with them and be like, boom.
I mean,
I-
I
Sure,
mean,
it went boom.
And that's
Yeah.
why I was laughing about it, because I have to get. I'm supposed to have an MRI done every year of my noggin to make sure
Mhm.
I don't have any tumors up there because of the TBI, which causes me to have migraines all the time. They're also supposed to do one for my
Mhm.
my ear because of the issues I've got in my ear, because my left ear, where the car slammed into my skull, I get tinnitus really, really bad. And the doctors have actually told me the only way to stop me from having this tinnitus, where it's not noise for me, it's pain. It feels like somebody is ramming a hot metal poker into my skull. And it's so bad that it literally it does. It feels like somebody just rammed a
Mhm.
hot metal poker into my skull. And the doctor said the only way that they could stop that from happening is if they were to cut the nerves and leave me deaf in my left ear. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, it's better to live with that pain than it is to go completely without having hearing in that ear. Because there have been times when I've been out and about, going about my day, and then the next thing happens is I'm on the ground, curled in the fetal position, crying in pain because of it hitting. And it's not cool. It's not something I want. Um, that might work, Siggy. I don't know, uh, because the VA has brought up the possibility of implanted TENS unit sensors to be implanted into my back and in my legs to try to help counter the pain as well as the really bad muscle spasms I've been having.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, it's still experimental.
A
And
TINS unit or like a like a spinal cord stimulator?
TENS unit is what they originally were talking about, where
Okay, because
you implant they implant the TENS unit nodes to where you would
Yeah.
like a little snap where you
Yeah.
snap into it.
okay, because
it's
there's now
yeah.
three versions of that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, gotta go. I might be back later. Who
All
knows?
right, love you, son.
Love you too, Dad. Have fun.
We'll do.
Hi, Zaki.
And
It's basically a small well, a node would be the technical term for it, but basically think of it as a sensor that can be actuated, turned on independently from other ones.
yeah,
Okay, they're small independent switches that can send electrical impulses where the node is implanted. There's got to
Usually,
be there's got to be a central thing that controls where the impulses are sent through. Think for example, you guys have seen Spider-Man, right?
mhm,
Think Doc Ock, that whole unit that's attached to his body sends different impulses depending on where he thinks the links for the arms are. It'll send electrical impulses down his spinal cord down to those locations and then move the arms. This is sort of the same thing.
yeah.
could you come explain this to my patients when we put these in? That was
I could.
excellent.
I could. I mean,
Oh shoot, we got
my
10.
well
We got.
for
We're gonna have
for
to
yeah
start
for,
wrapping up because pop culture breakdown will start in about 10-15 minutes.
yeah, I know, but
And we're just getting going. But I don't like stepping on anybody's toes. That's one of the things that if Tony's thing wasn't this is his special week of doing the membership drive. So and he told me not to worry about it. That he doesn't. So that's good. And but I do. But we will need to roll it up a little bit. But I do want us to. I'm going to ask people to pray for Secretary Hegseth. He had aircraft issues, and everybody's wanting to make sure there's prayers for him. Read Doomstream. If
Yeah.
even blood, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Skull
Well,
Calderon's minion. Because I'm trying to check and see. One of my computers is my desktop it's working, but my laptop's not, and I run this off of my laptop. So I'm trying to figure out why it's because the Wave Road sent me a song about a kinetic lyric video of "I've no more fucks to give." I can't play it.
What operating system are you running on your laptop?
Windows 10.
Windows 10.
It's not
Okay.
it's not the computer or anything. It's YouTube that's not letting you play it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
YouTube,
wild.
Okay.
all
Okay.
of YouTube,
Well,
all of YouTube is crashing.
yeah.
Yep.
Well.
I can't play nothing.
Mr. Stark is up. I can at least confirm that. So they are up. Okay,
Very
which means technically we should be up by all intents and purposes. We should be up. You know, but I'll reach out to you privately, Richard. We'll figure something out.
All right.
I'll find some time around my classes, so we
And see
can.
if your dad is willing to hop on and talk about.
Dad
Yeah.
has his good days and his bad days, Richard. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I'm
Dad,
the same.
is Dad, are you doing dinner for Dad? Because it's close to 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Sorry, I know he gets hungry.
because I do. It's
Look,
one of those things I love talking to people that live through that type of thing, because I actually interviewed people that I became obsessed with how Funny Mustache Man came to power. So when I was in 5th grade, and I started researching it, and I used to interview people. I actually got to use my time in the Navy to do interviews, and I interviewed so many people in Germany and Austria that lived through it.
Back in well, they could say that about DJT, but it's different. It is. But there was a song back in the 90s called Cult of Personality.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs.
The problem here is that what we have is the media cultivating that personality, not the person. So what they try to infer on him as a person is really what the media is doing with everybody else.
Yep.
Okay. With everybody else, because I mean, seriously, if I were sitting on 8 billion cold hard cash, okay, if I were sitting on 8 billion, if I were a selfish narcissist person, it's the last thing I'm going to say. If I were a selfish narcissist person, why the hell would I want to mess with that? It takes a person who cares about somebody other than themselves to say, you know what? This just ain't right. This is just not right. Yeah. There's some people that, no, this is just not right. I don't see anybody doing anything about it. Yeah.
I've said this before when it came to Trump when he ran in 2016, because I made the statement back then that he was not my candidate, and I still say it. Because I was a Ted Cruz supporter, and I have followed Trump in his career ever since the 90s.
Yeah,
he was a big time Democrat.
Yeah.
And he was extremely tight and close with the Clintons.
I'll say it this way.
That was the whole reason. That was the whole reason why he did the whole birth certificate BS,
right,
as a favor to her.
Mm-hmm.
And I was afraid that he was running as a Republican to act as a spoiler to make it easier for her to win.
Right.
And
nope.
Hillary Clinton's the reason why my son is in the UK and I did not have a relationship with him.
Look, I'll say it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Okay. Once I found out the work that HRC did to screw up the American workforce, helping large corporations find loopholes in the H-1B visa system, that changed my mind completely on that person.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it once you've seen someone say it from their own mouth, there's no going back.
Yep.
And she did that in the 90s. Someone leaked out a corporate video from Walmart at a Walmart corporate conference or whatever you want to call them of her talking about that. Okay? Somebody leaked that. And once I saw that, that did it for me. And I'm not even going to go into the 13 lives that were lost.
Yep.
I'm
Thanks.
going to those are the things that are I can forgive, but I'm not going to forget.
Yep.
I'm not going to forget, my my uncle had some pictures of some of the people that he was in Nam with, Richard.
Mm-hmm.
And there were, there were a good number that had that had certain, I'm not going to say what he had to qualify them, but over half of them didn't make it back.
Yeah. My dad, we've got photo albums of all the pictures that Dad took while he was there.
Well, no.
And
I'll leave you with this statement, Richard. This was my uncle's, that means my father's older brother. This is my uncle's statement. There was no reason this needed to happen.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, when you're a teenager and somebody you looked up to that you think is invincible tells you the stories of the shit that they went, excuse my French, sorry, Juarevo, that they went through to make it possible for you to be able to ride your bike and go get comic books and go see Star Wars movies and see Cassandra Peterson's tits, excuse my French, on Friday night. Once you grow up with that, you realize that nope, it's not happening. And with that, I'm going to sign off, fellas.
All right, you be
I'll
good,
catch y'all
brother.
later. Love you.
Love you too,
Bye.
man.
We love you too.
All right, wait, vote. You want to let's see, what's the phrase again? Show your shit.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, I've decided I'm going to turn the reins of my channel over to Cartman and Hank Hill and a few others. While I myself go into a self-imposed exile to work on the review, which is taking me a whole lot longer to work on than I thought it would. But yeah, I have like 8 or so hours worth of footage to comb through, and I just started making the script last night, and I've been recording this footage for like 2 weeks.
Damn.
But let me dig up the link to my channel real quick.
Yep, I made Wayro a managing moderator. I did not know I could actually do that. And now I can.
Huh. Not even
Yep,
sure
I
what that does.
made Marcelo Lopez a moderator on my channel as well.
And of course, Kraken is being lovey-dovey, so he wanted to be on the screen for a few minutes. So here he is.
Hi, Kitty.
Oh, look at them eyes all squinty. He's such a cute boy.
Yeah, he's awesome. He
Got that
is the
pretty
loving
triangle.
one. Yeah, he's the loving one. He likes being held. He likes being cuddled. Prince, he only wants to be petted or cuddled whenever he wants it. And as you can see, he's he's skinny because, well, Prince eats all my food. Prince eats my food.
And now he jumps in.
Yeah.
Scrubs. Just gotta put a pussy on the screen, huh?
Yeah. Which reminds me,
I will
Uh,
say, I
let's see.
regret that we did not get to any of the topics that I wanted to discuss today.
you want us to do, since all this has happened tomorrow, let's do a live stream tomorrow where we can actually hit those topics if you're up to it.
I feel like Friday would be a bit better.
All right, we'll do it on Friday then, before Friday Night Frolics.
Oh, that's right. Friday is Frolics, isn't it? Dude.
Because I want to make sure I don't step on anybody's toes.
Yeah.
Because that's something that we're one big family, and our community is a shared community with everybody else, and I don't want to make somebody feel bad if they can't make it, and that's why I like it when people come on and watch later, and it's really cool. Well, Shrubby says he finally got the alarm sorted, so leave me alone. Yeah, his neighbor's alarm went off, so he had to make sure that it was an actual alarm and not somebody screwing with him.
Yeah.
But but hopefully we'll be able to do this on Friday.
Yeah. Well,
or the weekend. We could also do it on the weekend. It's all up to you guys.
Yeah, Saturday afternoon after roughly 5:00, I should be good.
All right. It all depends on if I'm able to get everybody together to do the Star Wars game. What time on Saturday?
Yeah.
Because Saturdays, whenever I can usually get everybody together for the game. This past weekend wasn't able to do it because several of the people had to work.
Yeah.
Which sucked.
If I can, I can see if I can get Casey Osowski over here.
Oh, that would be cool.
Because
oh yes, Casey. Yes.
When I streamed, streamed with Theta, or not Theta, Tony last night, when I joined his stream last night, Casey straight up said that if I can get in touch with him, he'd be more than happy to join my streams.
Sweet.
I just have to find a way to get in touch with him.
He's very old school. I do know that. Email perhaps may be the best with him. I know he doesn't have a cell phone. It's the judge. It's the judge.
But yeah. I believe Tony mentioned that he is in fact on X.
Oh, okay, good.
But but his name is like backwards on it. But anyway, we can discuss that when that time comes.
Yep. Well, everybody, thank you guys for coming, and have fun. And remember, let's be the positive change we want in this world. That's the only way we're going to make things better. And this world needs a lot more love in it, because it does. It needs it. We've allowed ourselves to be divided, broken up into these little factions, and completely ignoring what unifies us, what makes us a people. that makes us forget the fact we're all human and ignore the fact that we share more in common than we don't. And yes, Shrubby's right. If somebody broke into his neighbor's place, what's going to stop them from breaking into his? And
Exactly.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
Sounds very dangerous. It sounds like he needs to put himself in a box and mail himself here. Sorry.
Yes.
Well, to be fair,
Come on,
I've had a
Shrubby.
rash of breakthroughs in my place about a year ago. So in my little addition I live in.
Like I said, man, we need what we're going to do is get a nice big box for Shrubby and a couple of buckets so he'll have something to pee and poop in, and some food, and have him mail himself here. And I'm going to stress this: UPS, not FedEx. So I love you guys. Thank you guys for coming. Please be kind, rewind, rewatch, share it, slap the like button like it owes you money, and y'all be good and know that you're loved. Oh, well, that's the whole. That's that's the whole thing that. Well, we wanted you on here when we were talking about the anal railgun, man. and you weren't here for it.
I even took notes to prepare a whole defense on my protecting my identity.
Yeah. So yep. Shrubby. I love all of you, even you, Shrubby. Even you. Y'all be good now, and you're welcome, Shrubs. We do love you, man, and we will talk to you guys a little later. Y'all be good. Remember, you're not alone, and you are loved, even if it is just by me. Be good now.